Renee and I had been married for about 2 years when we became pregnant with our little boy Zachary. About 35 weeks into it, Renee's blood pressure started acting up.
We went in for a regular scheduled checkup. We did an ultrasound and he wouldn't move.
So they were pretty worried about what was happening and decided to do a high-tech ultrasound that measures the blood flow between baby and mother. They saw that it was a reverse blood flow, and immediately the doctor said, he's got to come out now.
They took me back and performed an emergency C-section. He came out 3 pounds 7 ounces. He was 5 weeks early and unable to breathe on his own. The doctors decided that they would take him and transfer him to Children's Hospital.
In plain terms, he might not have made it. He was near heart failure in the womb. He was very stressed and very small. The doctors called it in utero growth retardation. Somewhere along the lines he had stopped growing and was born premature. It was really tough for Renee and I. No new parent ever expects that when they have their child, it's going to be like this. Zachary stayed in the neonatal intensive care unit for 30 consecutive days. Renee was there by his side every single day and all day. He was on a feeding tube and a ventilator, but he grew and got healthier every single day. It was really hard to have just had your newborn and you couldn't bring him home.
We had to deal with a lot of emotional stress because of the abnormal circumstances.
It was a blessing from God that he came out when he did. It was hard for me going through this because all the pregnancy, Renee and I had just prayed, God, please, let everything be normal and healthy. That's all we wanted, and I couldn't understand why we were going through this.
Zachary came home after 30 days. He was 4 pounds 5 ounces, just a teeny little guy, but we were just told that he was a preemie and that he would just continue to grow.
Within about 3 months, Renee and I started noticing things of concern. He was just moving abnormally. When he was 6 months old, Zachary started having these spasm seizures.
His head would fly forward and his arms up above his head.
We got in to see a doctor right away.
The neurologist told us he had something called infantile spasms or West syndrome.
It's infantile epilepsy. And he said that there's always some bigger underlying cause to this. And so he ordered an MRI.
The MRI showed significant brain damage. They diagnosed him with cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy is brain damage caused by lack of oxygen, lack of nutrients, sometime either before, during, or right after birth. With everything that happened to Zachary's birth, there's no telling where it came from.
His type of cerebral palsy is stiff muscles and really high tone, so the tone in his body is, he's unable to control it a lot of the time.
It's a lifelong condition. It's permanent brain damage. There's nothing that can take it away. So the doctor said, so that's what's causing these seizures. Now the thing is to get the seizures under control. So we went through a process of medication. Within a month we had the seizures completely stopped. And that's just been a blessing.
Because of the motor control, we do a lot of therapies.
We've gotten him into physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We've gotten him orthotics for his feet, a medical walker. There's therapies that can help him have the best quality of life possible. With a special needs child, you get to see the world in a different light. He's going to teach us a lot more than we're going to teach him. The entire experience drew us closer as a couple, drew us closer as a family, and drew us all closer to God.
I'm really amazed that God can take something that seems so devastating and He can give someone purpose. And when He gives you something and He says, here's your direction, do something with this. I now, through my son, have a place to put my focus. And not just in him, but in a community of people who need hope. They need that support of someone who can say that they understand, that they've been there,